Hey everyone, this is Deepak, and in this blog video, we're going to talk about how do you sell on LinkedIn. Yes, we are going to cover sales and marketing together in this video. And the reason this is an important topic is because I know that LinkedIn is a platform that most people are using these days. We heavily use LinkedIn. We've used for a long time. And most people that are using LinkedIn are generally interested in terms of getting clients, essentially selling their products and services. And obviously there is a category of people, a large category that is all about recruiting and finding opportunities in job. But for small business owners, for financial advisors, insurance advisors, or even people like us, we use LinkedIn essentially to get clients, because what is really important about client acquisition and why we love the whole art and science of client acquisition that we call is, I have this belief system that you can't really help anybody until they become your client. So let's say if you're a financial advisor and you take a lot of pride in, let's say, retirement planning, then it's impossible for you to help someone with retirement planning unless they become your client, move asset. You can do that. Similarly for us, we cannot help financial advisors a whole bunch. Of course, we can help them with some videos and knowledge like this, but for us to truly transform a financial advisor's practice, career, and life, they have to work with us. So getting client is really that precious step that allows us to truly create the impact, and hence this is important. So that is the reason we are talking about this today. Now let's kind of dive into what is the role LinkedIn plays in your sales cycle. And then I'm going to talk about the three most important part of LinkedIn that you need to master if you want to get clients on LinkedIn. Okay? So first of all, let's kind of make it very clear that LinkedIn is a prospecting platform. It's not a sales platform. Which means, if you kind of break down sales into two sections, there is a section of, prospecting, where you're finding people to get them interested in looking at your offer or products or services. And then you have the quote unquote sales or closing process that people also like to refer, which is a sales process. LinkedIn is going to help you with the first part, which is the prospecting. Okay, so let's just make that very clear. You cannot sell anybody directly on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not a platform intended for direct sales. LinkedIn is a great platform intended for prospecting. Okay, so that is the job of LinkedIn. So you just want to make sure that you have the clarity. You are not even trying to use LinkedIn to sell, and it's for prospecting. So what does it mean? That means that LinkedIn will allow you to find people, engage them, and get them on a phone call or a Zoom call so they can sit down with you virtually or in person and look at your products and services. That is the role of LinkedIn. Okay. Now, we have been using LinkedIn since 2018, and we have helped over 500 advisors at the time of making this video, perhaps more, depending upon when you're watching. And we specialize in helping and figuring it out. How do you get someone off LinkedIn to sit down and have meetings? And I've done many meetings like that, over 1,000, 1,400 meetings plus and growing. So there are few key steps. So if you want to really sell, which is essentially prospect on LinkedIn, there are a few things that you must do. Number one, you have to make sure that you are being very methodical about who are you approaching. So using the search on LinkedIn, you have to use that wisely, and you have to be very strategic about searching. So that's one part of it. Now let's talk about what are the things that you have to master when you start to engage. So the process on LinkedIn is you find people, you connect with them, and you message them. Now when it comes to messaging, there are like three areas that you have to master if you want to effectively use LinkedIn. And I found that knowing sales, and I've been in sales for over 10 years, and I've learned sales from various different angles, and I find that because of that understanding, it's impossible to make LinkedIn work if you don't understand sales, right? That's the key part of it. I know there are a lot of people in marketing that are trying to also use LinkedIn, but LinkedIn essentially goes back into the basics of sales. So when you start to connect with someone, there are three key principles that we find you have to master, and that's something that we teach people in our program, in our coaching programs, and when we work with them, or even our services client, where we run campaigns for them. Okay, so the very first thing that you need to master, that you have to do, is discovery. Now, discovery is a very key part of selling. So when you're on the phone call, when you're on the Zoom call, or when you're on LinkedIn, you need to discover desire, interest, problems, and things of that nature. So you need to learn how do you send proper messages to discover problem of people. So the discovery mastery becomes extremely important. And the better you do that, the longer conversations and more conversation would happen. So we start with mastering discovery. And there are different strategies, different angles, depending on if you're doing retirement discovery, insurance-led discovery, financial planning discovery, if the person is older, if the person is younger. There's different variations on discovery side, but you have to start with that. So that's number one. Number two, you have to master objection handling. Like, the rejection is name of the game in sales. Anybody who have been in sales, or anybody that really want to do well in life with the tool set of sales, you have to master objection handling, which is rejection. LinkedIn is no different. And the more people use LinkedIn, the more rejections have come. So you need to learn how to handle objection. How do you reply to people? And most people, when someone just replies, I'm not interested, no thanks, now I already have this, I'll get back to you. Most people don't have a way to reply. So we spent a lot of time in testing different models, scripts, strategies to try to get through that. Because most of the time, rejection or objection is a knee-jerk reaction. Sometimes, obviously, there are real objections and reasons why people are not interested or will not be interested in doing business. But you can't, as a salesperson, accept instant rejections. You can't take them at face value. You have to really methodically, you can't challenge. Now, the whole challenger approach, in my view, is not like the best approach. So you have to learn how to handle proper objections. So that's like the second part. And then the last one is follow-ups. We all say fortune is in follow-up, and LinkedIn is no different. You have to be able to follow up with people. We find that people, even when we get them through the first stage and second stage, and when they're ready to book meeting, when we send them our meeting booking link, people don't book meetings, not all of them. So you have to follow up. Then we have to follow up with people who gave you objections, and then you have to respond to them, and you have to stay on top. Now, one thing that LinkedIn does, or any social media channel, but LinkedIn specifically, is you get a lot of volume of leads. So if you do proper LinkedIn, you're dealing with at least 300 fresh new leads each month, and they accumulate, right? In my case, we have over 9,000 plus advisors on my account. Technically, they're all prospects. So similarly, the volume becomes a big thing, and you need to have good systems. And the reason we created Fintello, my software product, is because that was one of the key problems. It solves many different problems, but one of the problem was to have a process to stay on top of people and really not miss an opportunity. So follow-up becomes extremely important. So if you want to make LinkedIn work, if you want to use LinkedIn as a prospecting platform, if you want it to help you drive your appointments and get more clients, we feel that a good LinkedIn account and a process should get you anywhere between 10 to 15 appointments a month. You can certainly try to do more, but if you get strategic about it, and I think for most financial advisors or even insurance advisors, a good 15 appointments with a high quality prospect can change the nature of your practice. And if you're not using LinkedIn, then you are missing opportunity. And again, you need to master technically 4 things. The first, search part. The second, when you start conversation, discovery, crucial. Then you need to learn how to handle objections, and you need to follow up. If you did these 4 things well, then you are going to be able to use LinkedIn to help you prospect, so that you can take an opportunity on the sales call and convert a decent amount of people into client. So that is really how a LinkedIn can be used as a sales platform. You're not using LinkedIn, as I said before, directly to sell, but you are using LinkedIn to help your sales pipeline more calls. And that is really how you marry social media and sales. So I hope you found this insightful. Again, if you have not been using LinkedIn, if you need help to make LinkedIn work, to drive more appointments, then reach out to us. But I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next blog video. Thank you.